Murders that were solved decades later, the case of Tent Girl. On the 17th of May in 1968, Wilbur Riddle was scavenging for glass insulators in the backwoods of US Route 25 near Georgetown, Kentucky. Whilst on his search, Wilbur came across a large green, bundled up piece of tarpaulin. Unsure what this material contained, he prodded it with his foot to roll it down a small embankment. And as the material unravelled, Wilbur discovered a decomposing body inside of it. He immediately ran to the nearest gas station to report his findings to the sheriff. The sheriff soon arrived at the scene and cut away what remained of the tarpaulin. He was horrified to find the body of a young woman. She seemed to be a white female with short brown hair, but police found it difficult to identify her any further. Police appealed to the public, asking for anyone with missing family members to come forward. News circulated the local towns, and the media soon dubbed the victim as Tent Girl due to the tarp material she was found in. 3 years later, her remains were finally buried in Georgetown Cemetery, and still no one knew who this girl was. The headstone for her grave read, "Tent Girl, found May 17, 1968, died about April 26 to May 3, 1968. Decades went past, and yet the identity of Tent Girl remained a mystery. It wasn't until the late 80s that Wilbur Riddle's son-in-law, Todd Matthews, began looking into her case. He was fascinated by the case, and he started trying to piece together who Tent Girl might be. He did everything he possibly could, but alas, Todd's search soon came to a halt. It wasn't until the 1990s, when the internet began to surface, that Todd was able to expand his search further. He made a website for Tent Girl, and he regularly posted about her case. And in 1998, Todd finally had a breakthrough in Tent Girl's identity. He found the description of a female on an online missing persons website that matched Tent Girl's. Her name was Barbara Ann Hackman Taylor, and she was married to a carnival worker named George Taylor at the time of her death. DNA testing was carried out between Barbara and her family, who were still searching for her. And it was soon confirmed that Tent Girl was in fact Barbara Ann Hackman Taylor. At the time of her disappearance, Barbara's husband George told her family that she had left him for another man and failed to file a missing persons report. To this day, he remains the prime suspect in the case, especially as the tarpaulin found at the crime scene matches the material used by carnival workers at the time. But George passed away in 1987, and so his guilt cannot be confirmed. After this discovery, a second grave marker was added to Barbara's grave. Todd's help in this case gave Tent Girl a name. And amazingly, he went on to co-found EDAN, which is an outstanding organisation made up of artists who donate sketches to help identify bodies. Be sure to follow for more true crime stories.